Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. Today I have the culmination of this Bear Creek Arsenal 16-inch cold hammer forged complete upper that I bought for $179. There was like a 10% discount. They think they regularly go for about $200. And I did a first shots video of it a while back. I'll link that in this video. Let's talk about the 1,000 rounds. I've hit 1,000 rounds on it. About half of it, maybe a little less than half of it, has been suppressed with this Otter Creek polonium. Let's get into it. So before that, let's talk about my relationship with Bear Creek Arsenal. I have a very small relationship with Bear Creek Arsenal. I have purchased everything I've ever owned from them, dating back 7 years ago, I think, 7, maybe 8 years ago. And they have sent me one thing, and that was that 9mm PCC, the 10.5 that I reviewed. I'll also put that link in the description as well. I purchased this with my own money. I am an affiliate of Bear Creek Arsenal, so any links or codes that I give you do help out the channel. So to get all that out of the way. Additionally, on the last video, on the first shots video of this, I got accused a few times of having a hand-picked product, that they sent this out to me hand-picked so it was perfectly QC'd and stuff like that. That couldn't be farther from the truth. I'm by no means saying that Bear Creek Arsenal has never had problems, because we all know they have, and it would be foolish of me to try to cope that away. But this was purchased by me with my own money, without their knowledge that I was going to do so. The thought that they have my name on a list, like that I get flagged and it's like, oh, Matt's ordering something, let's hand pick something or specifically QC something for him, is pretty insane, especially considering my channel size and the fact that I don't have this massive relationship with them. All right, so the entire rifle is sort of as follows. So I have reviewed this lower before. This is a Combat Armory billet lower. It's a very, very inexpensive. This whole thing, with the exception of the suppressor, is very inexpensive, even to the stock. This is a Chinese knockoff Daniel Defense stock. I wanted to just randomly bought one just to see how well it would work, because as much as I'm not a big fan of Daniel Defense, I do think this is like one really cool thing they do, and it's worked fine. So the knockoff Daniel Defense stock, NBS buffer tube, and I'm not sure who makes the spring, H2 buffer from somebody, I think it's CAC, but I'm not sure. The entire Bear Creek Arsenal cold hammer forged 16-inch upper, the Combat Armory lower with Strike Industry 4590 safety, Rise Armament Patriot trigger. This is a very, very nice trigger. I love this trigger, and I buy a lot of Rise Armament triggers. BCM Mod 3 I think. Grip. This particular magazine happens to be a KCI magazine. Check them out. They have supplied magazines for the channel, and I greatly appreciate that. The Leapers bipod that I've had on it for a little while, it seems to be holding up just fine, and the Otter Creek polonium suppressor with the dual port brake on it. I just today put this Gideon Optics first focal plane 1:8 LPVO on it. However, this was the setup that you also saw me reviewing, the 1:10 Gideon LPVO, where I did the drop test and all of that stuff with that. However, I just put this on here because this is the next in line to get tested, and I've been using this as a test platform right now. Now to the upper itself, I went through this in the previous video, but it's a mil-spec upper forging, mil-spec Bear Creek Arsenal bolt carrier group, mil-spec charging handle. Everything in the upper is mil-spec. Getting into their handguard, this is pretty standard handguard for Bear Creek Arsenal. It's the slim line, or what I call like a slim line. It's very slim here in the middle with pick at the front and rear of it, and all the sides have M-lock on it, and then there are 4 QD attachment points for a sling, although these are just the drilled QD attachment points. They're not the ones with cups in them. And then the barrel itself is a 4150 cold hammer forged 1-8 twist barrel. Again, this entire upper was $179, my cost after a discount. I had people ask me about that discount before, after that video. It's no longer a discount. It's not a discount that I get for my channel. It's one that they happen to be a special they were running. They're right around $199 full price. YouTube sensors, I'm not selling this. I'm not selling any regulated goods. I'm just letting the people know how much this cost, and that's it. So nothing says a boring video like nothing went wrong. That's my experiences with this. I've shot it for at least 400 rounds, if not close to 5, suppressed. We're going to take it apart here in a second and check out the bolt carrier group and see the wear and tear on it, see the wear and tear on cam pin, bolt face, things like that, and as best a shot on the chamber and locking lugs as I could possibly get. But I've had no issues with this upper, with the exception of the screws that hold the upper or the handguard to the barrel nut came loose in the first shots video. It was something that has happened on every Bear Creek Arsenal upper or firearm that I've ever had. I put a little blue Loctite on them, crank them down, put it back in place, crank them down, never have a problem after that. Now shooting this suppressed, it is super, super, super gassy. I don't have a gas busting charging handle in it, right? There's nothing on this that was made to be suppressed like there's other things that I could have done to it. But I wanted to shoot it suppressed to punish it as much as possible, because with a high back pressure can like the polonium and not tuning the gun for that back pressure, for that suppression, you really beat the hell out of the internals. So that was part of my testing process, because I had people say that the bolt carrier group was going to break, the gas key was going to break off, and that I was going to have multiple problems. Again, I'm not under any illusion that Bear Creek Arsenal is problem free. I may have a unicorn here, who knows? But my experience with this one and my experience with the 7.5 inch Bear Creek Arsenal upper and my experience with the 9mm PCC that they sell is basically flawless reliability inside of 1,000 rounds. Now I use 1,000 rounds as a metric because the vast majority of people think 1,000 rounds is a lot, because people just don't shoot as much as they should. All right, so here is the bolt carrier group. I should mention that I have lubed this twice. I have lubed this twice in the 1,000 rounds. So the bolt face looks pretty, and I haven't cleaned this, so the bolt face looks pretty good. If I can stop the shadows from happening. Here are all the high wear spots that have wear on them. The body of it looks pretty good. Let's see. The rings seem to be holding up. So that's all pretty good. All right, so here is the cam pin. There's the cam pin. It doesn't appear to have any like shoulder on it to where I can catch my fingernail or anything. And here is the bolt itself. Again, nothing's been cleaned. I'm just doing this in real time. Now, when I knocked the firing pin out, some stuff fell out. I'm gonna take a picture of it and put it over here right now. But some stuff fell out. I'm not sure what that stuff is. But it doesn't look like, I mean, I don't have any chunks of shit missing from these components. So I don't know if it's just carbon chunks or what. Again, I've only lubed this twice and I haven't cleaned it, been shooting it suppressed a lot. But use your judgment on what that stuff is. And the firing pin. So here is the head of the firing pin. Doesn't appear to be mushroomed or anything. And the firing pin tip itself looks pretty good. Not chipped or anything like that. So, not bad. So one last thing is the gas block. The gas block has not moved, it has not come loose, and it's hard to see. I took a best picture as I could. You can see that the gas block, that the coating on the gas block had discolored, but it does not appear that there's been a whole lot, if any, leaking of gases around the gas block. So everything on this has been acceptable. So where do I put this in the tier level in the grand umbrella scheme of like uppers and things that I've used. Anything that is bare bones mil spec like this, anything that is an inexpensive item, is not going to have the lifespan of something that is has better parts in it, has better coatings, has a better fit and finish. Because that's a lot of those things go into that lifespan. It goes into the end life of whatever you're using. But I think at 1,000 rounds, without any issues, for people that want to buy a very inexpensive upper that seems to do quite well, in my experience, with my experience being one, this isn't a bad purchase. I'm not upset with this purchase. At $179, a cold hammer forge complete upper, I'm not upset with it. There's a ton of wiggle room for me in here to put a really nice bolt carrier group, a nice charging handle in it, and even a different handguard if I choose. So that is it. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to put links to everything that I've used today and all that down below. Check all this stuff out for yourself. I mean, some of this stuff I'm not, but like all the main components I will. Yeah, there's a lot of people that were like, that thing's trash, that thing's junk, that thing will never run, and so on and so on. I've had good luck with it. Does that mean you're going to have good luck with it? I don't know. I can't answer that question. That's the hard part about doing this job, is if I recommend something and it doesn't work for you, then it reflects on me. And so from my experience with an example of one, it's not a bad start. It's not a bad start at all, especially for the price. All right, thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Remember to hit all notifications and all that good stuff. You can become a member of the channel. That gets you previews and members only posts, things like that. It's very inexpensive. $5 a month, not bad. And I absolutely appreciate it. I need support in my channel somehow. And if you are willing to do that, that's fantastic. Otherwise, I do appreciate you watching. Don't forget to share the videos. That's another really good way and free way to support the channel. We'll talk to you guys later.